Hey guys, I want to show you guys how to add NFT to your existing business. If you know me at all, you know that I hate that a lot of NFT right now is like pixelated pictures of mythical creatures barfing rainbows. That's not what NFTs are. That's just how they've been used and how they kind of became popular. In this video, I want to walk through, and I'm going to cut over to another video, an interview I did with a guy who's teaching more about how to actually add these NFTs to your business so you can sidestep the whole pixelated pictures of weird junk thing and actually use them for a legitimate business purpose. Let's dive in. What's going on? Steve Larsen. Welcome back to the channel. Excited to have you guys here. I have on with me a special guest. He's a friend of mine and one of the most incredibly, brilliantly talented geniuses in the crypto and NFT space that I have ever met. And that says a lot. It's obviously a place that has exploded. And as you guys know, I've even talked about on this channel that it's been shown that crypto has an adoption rate, tech-wise, that is like 2x of what the internet itself was in the 90s, which is ridiculous. So people want this, people need this, they see the issues, but I think one of the biggest barriers is obviously it's kind of a new language and you do have to learn it a little bit. Once you get it down, some of the rudimentary things like awesome, I get that. Now you can kind of play a little more, but I'll tell you that one of the people that I did listen to, I've gone through his stuff, I've gone through his YouTube channel, you should totally check it out as well, is Jeffery Banek. And so he's been teaching me, training me, even flew out and we spent the day together and he just taught me. And it was one of the coolest. I was already doing crypto stuff, but I had no idea on the NFT space. I just did not know. I did think for a while it was just pixelated animals and that's really not what this is. So I have invited on here as a special guest, Jeffery Banek. Welcome to the channel.
What's up, brother? Thanks for having me on. Super pumped for today.
Hey, thank you honestly for being on here. Because you really opened my eyes to this. I first bought my first Bitcoin in, I think it was 2017, and it was at 2K still. I really wish I held on, regardless of whatever was happening, which I held on. But I didn't really ever dip my toe in, DeFi or NFT, and you really opened my eyes to that space. How did you get into it yourself, just so people know?
Yeah, so originally, I started out with funnels, so I had a little bit of success with all that, and yeah. I was doing some coaching. I was teaching my clients how to build out ecosystems so that they can have funnels like the ones I've created in the past. And one of my clients came to me and wanted help with an NFT launch. And like you at that time a year ago, I knew nothing about NFTs. I mean, I'd heard about them a little bit, like rumblings, but I didn't really know what they were. So to be able to coach my client, I just deep dived in NFTs. And all of a sudden, the more I learned, the more I realized that this is going to be how everything's bought and sold online in the future. One of the real easiest ways to think of it, we can dive deeper into in a minute, but NFTs almost just sort of like a receipt, actually. The picture and everything that's attached to it doesn't really matter. It's just like if I gave you that picture behind you of the bunny rabbit and go, hey, here's the receipt for something you bought online. It just is the bunny rabbit happens to be the front cover of what the receipt is. And that's really on the simplest things. Yeah. NFT is just tracking on a digital ledger that's called the blockchain, what's bought and sold, how much it's sold for, who it's sold for. All the stuff can finally be verified. So for instance, one of the things when people look at NFTs, they look at it as a form of art. Well, art it definitely is, but it's only a small percentage, maybe like 10 or 20% are really art. With that being said, though, the cool thing about being at art is for the first time ever, you can guarantee that you're seeing is the original. Unlike when you go to like a museum and you see the Mona Lisa, you don't know if that's like a reproduction or the real thing or anything. And you hear all the time how art's duplicated and fabricated and there's copies out there. Well, NFTs makes it so that's impossible to happen. When you see it, it's the original. It was owned by this guy, is paid by everything's tracked on the blockchain. So that's one of the real powers is it allows not only everything be tracked, but because these digital assets are tracked for one of the first times ever, it gives actual ownership to the person that owns that digital, whatever it is, as an NFT.
Wow.
So yeah, so say like I bought, for instance, an easy thing is your course. You have an amazing course. Let's say that we make that in an NFT. Now, I buy your course, I get an NFT, which is my access pass to the course. That's really, in this example, all the NFT is the access pass to your course. The cool thing is, for the first time ever, I own that copy of the course because I own this NFT. Now, when I'm done learning from all your amazing content, and rather than it sitting in a library and gathering dust and becoming obsolete, I can now resell that NFT to someone else for potentially even a profit, ladies and gentlemen. This is called learn to earn. There's so many different, there's move to earn, which means created now where they're literally paying people to get off their butt and exercise. Right now, there's this really cool, sorry, I'm getting a little tangent here.
No, you're cool. Yeah,
so much. There's this really cool one right now called Step In, where they actually have the NFTs are digital shoes that you buy. Huh. And like say when you put these on your phone, it tracks you GPS on how much you're working out. And depending on how much you were working out, you get tokens that you can actually, they're worth $1.50 each. People are making anywhere from 50 to 150 bucks a day working out, dude.
What? I gotta go check this out. That's so cool.
It's called Step In. It's on Solana right now. It's a really big. But that's the thing. This is what the potential of NFTs are. Sure, art's a very small part, but it goes way beyond that and gives the power for people to have digital ownership of something. Think about games. You're a gamer. I'm a gamer. Yeah. How much have you spent in games buying skins and guns and all types of stuff? But if that game shut down or you decide to stop playing, you don't own that stuff. They do. Yeah. Change is going to be NFTs will now, that skin will be NFT or that gun will be NFT. When you're done with it, you'll now be able to sell it to someone else. Or the even cooler thing is, say that you have a NFT that's a weapon of some sort. A lot of people have time to play the game, but not necessarily time to level it up. So now somebody could go in, play this game, level up this NFT, take it from a common to like an epic. Now go sell it to someone on the open market for 5 or 10,000 because they have the money, but not the time to be able to get that thing elevated to where it makes.
I think that's so huge. It's going to transform so much stuff. I didn't realize that was a stepping thing, but like, yeah, because the art piece is really, like I said, it's a very small percentage of what NFT actually is used for. In fact, you were the one that taught me, think of NFTs like a contract. Anywhere you use a contract in your life, basically the NFT is the receipt of that contract, and the contract is on a public thing called the blockchain. Like, think about how much fraud that actually, now there's fraud in everything, obviously everything, but when it comes down to actually seeing on a public ledger who bought what from who at what price at what time and what was the contract, like there are so many uses for that. And that's one of the reasons I've been so excited about it is the whole concept that, I mean, I'm stolen from a bunch, and you know, through wallet access, being able to slow down thievery for a lot of infopreneurs. It's such a massive, massive piece. What other ways do you think that, like, I don't know, the NFT space could be used for business right now?
So let's first of all, before we get into real business, let's talk a little bit about the music art aspect of it, because this is one of the coolest things, whether you're an artist as a musician or an artist that does drawings or whatever. For the first time, NFTs give the power back to the artist. So let's run through a scenario. You, Steve, are a country music singer, we're going to say, and you have 50,000 fans that are diehard fans. 50,000 is nothing. Like 50,000 is nothing. But let's decide we're going to launch an NFT. We're going to launch 1,000 of them at $1,000 because you want to make $1 million to be able to launch your next tour. Okay. Of these 50,000, we need only 1 in 5, 10,000 of them to pay you $1,000. That is $10 million. So these people, what you do now is you sell them an NFT. They get now, you can set up however you want. That's the power of it. But let's say we decide, hey, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give anyone that buys a NFT, they're going to get a small percentage of whatever my record sales are for this, however this launch is. So you get the 10 million to help launch because you sold 10,000 to 1,000, that's 10 million. You get the 10 million to help launch your career. And they get now, not only do they get this cool NFT, but it's a way to like promote you, to like sponsor you, to be part of your actual entity, to be part of your launch. And I get money back from the sales of your record, potentially, however it's designed. So imagine that as an artist, like you love your artist, you want to support him. You can now buy a part of their business practically.
It's like being a shareholder without skipping and all that red tape, you know, you can skip it. It's so much more
that's
decentralized.
The cool thing. Think about this. Have you ever tried to buy a house?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So how much red tape and crap is there to buy a house? Like,
it's a journey.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. They just had recently in Florida, a first ever NFT was sold that was a house.
Wow.
So the owner of the house owns a company that owns this, or the owner of the NFT owns a company that owns the house, but they can now resell that house. And what people don't know, NFTs have a hard-baked royalty in them. So whoever the creator of the NFT is can set whatever percentages, usually 5 to 10% of the sale of that NFT in perpetuity. Wow. So let's say that house is $1 million. They set it for 10%. Every time that house is sold forever, they're going to make $100,000. Let's get 10 of those. Now we got generational wealth we're creating here. You can pass it down for generation and make money on it.
And I think that's one of the things that people, like, I really want people to understand here is that this is not a fad. It's happening right now. This is almost as if, like, okay, hearing about a credit card for the first time. And remember, all these people thought it was evil and they thought this is just literally a new way to transfer money. But what's cool is it's more than that. It's a contract itself. It's like money and a contract in the same gesture. Whereas before those are two different instruments, and it's into the same instrument. And it's amazing. And it's on a network that is, largely away from the government. I don't know how far away it is, but it puts it right back to the power of the people with a monetization that we all can agree among the people, hey, that's what this is worth, versus another institution governing it.
Right. And plus that house example versus all the red tape before. Of course, I would do an inspection and that type of stuff. But think about this. When you're buying the NFT, it literally comes down to does Steve have enough money? Yes, he does. Great. He just bought that house. It's that simple. Think about how fast things will be in the future when all you have to do is actually have the money to buy it versus everything else.
All the stuff, the contract's taken care of in the purchase because the NFT is with it.
Yeah, and it's all digitally right there, like unchangeable, or what they call immutable on the blockchain. So whatever's there, it's written. You can't change it. So it's like you said, it's unfraudable.
Yeah, and like as far as like the adoption rate of it, the thing that I think has been stopping it is that we're all trying to figure out how to flip out payment processors to that stuff and flip out paying utilities, our bills. Like it's those things. I feel like once those institutions start taking it on, the rest is dominoes.
Yeah. I think that as far as crypto, one of the things that does slow its adoption a little bit is the fact that if I had to buy a hamburger and I had $10 in the bank of dollars and I had $10 in the bank of crypto, which you're going to use? Something that could potentially go up in value, or you're going to use your dollars that only go down in value?
That's a good point.
So that's the one problem I see right now until the government views it as a currency, because right now crypto is viewed as an investment. It's not viewed as a currency. That's why it's taxed the way it is.
Yeah. So
until that happens and adoption where it comes into governments where they're seeing it as a currency and it's stable enough. That's another thing. Imagine this as a business owner. If I took $10,000 in crypto and it goes down 60% in a week, I just lost $5,000 I can't run a business that way.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that's going to happen when it has to be crypto. There has to be more stability, and it has to be the ability for governments to see as a currency and not an investment.
And plus just fiat's just so much more liquid right now, just due to the infrastructure that is.
And that's the biggest problem for people shifting in NFTs right now is there is so much friction. You have to understand crypto. You have to understand what a wallet is. You have to know what an NFT is. I mean, there's so much right now. Once people figure that out, just like you said, it'll be like credit cards online back in the 90s when, I won't put my credit card and they're going to take everything from me. It's just a lack of understanding. Once people understand the technology, mass adoption will happen fast.
Yeah. And I really don't think it's going to be like we're going to be straight crypto in the day either. I think it'll be both. I think there'll be government fiat, and there'll still be that, and there'll be room and play for both. And we're just going to get versed like that now. It'd be like going to private healthcare versus, state. Yeah. Well, hey, appreciate this like crazy. What are you up to right now? What are the projects on your mind that you're most excited about?
There's this one called Capitalist Pig that's coming out in like about
That was a
month from
tee.
now. That I'm really excited about that one. But as far as some other things, right now Solana network is really heating up. They've had the OK Bears and Tripping Apes, which have just been released, that have had astronomical movement. I mean, these things went from like, I think they were like $300-400 that they're already up to like 4 to 5K right now. I mean, It's crazy. So really, I'm watching the products or NFTs that have a good community behind them as well as a good vision. That's one of the biggest problems with people when they launch NFTs. They don't have a plan for it. They get up to launch and they're like, woo, we launched it, we're done. That's just when all the work really starts. So that's one of the things people need to realize.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for being on here, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. And if you've never purchased an NFT before, if you don't know what they are, if you want to be able to, like, half the game of this is just learning the jargon. Once you get the jargon, you're like, oh, I get why everyone's obsessed with these and why they've not just been a fad that's died off. So we want to be able to show you guys how to actually go buy your first NFT and what that means, the tech piece of it, the jargon of it, the strategy, understanding the different silos of crypto and really what that means. You just watch. I only care about these because of the product. It's almost like we use NFTs as a receipt. Anyway, go to buyyourfirstnft.com. I'll put the link in the description down below, but it is a live 5-day walkthrough, just being like, hey, first do this, now do this, now do this, now do this. Bam, you're ready to rock. Okay, it's free. Click, the link is down below. Click it and I'll see you there. Bye.